Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today I'm going to be sharing 2 recipes for sloppy joes. Up first is the Korean beef sloppy joes. This recipe starts out by browning ground beef. Once it's almost completely browned, you're going to add garlic in as well that is minced and let that cook before we combine with our other ingredients. One thing that I really love about both of these recipes is that they are not only so delicious and very good comfort foods, but they are so quick and easy to make, so they're perfect for a weeknight meal. Once the ground beef and garlic are cooked, you're going to add in water, sesame oil, ketchup, hoisin sauce, soy sauce, rice wine vinegar, and a little bit of sriracha. You then just want to stir the mixture to combine it all together, and then you're going to let it cook on the stove over about medium heat for about 5 minutes, and that just allows the sauce to come together and become a little bit thicker. As always, I will have the recipe linked below in the description box, so that way you have the amounts of each ingredient. The flavor of this meat is amazing. It obviously makes really good sloppy joes, but you can also use this meat and serve it over white rice. That's actually what we do in my household with the leftovers, but if you aren't wanting to eat it as a sloppy joe, that's something that you can do. If you're watching like carbs or anything like that, I think it would be really good over cauliflower rice as well. Once your mixture has finished cooking, you'll notice that it has gotten a lot thicker, so what you're going to do is just serve it on a bun and you're good to go. Alright, the next recipe is for a Philly cheesesteak sloppy joe. This is hands down the best sloppy joe that I've ever had. You have to make this recipe. This recipe is going to start out the same way as the Korean beef sloppy joes. You're just going to begin by browning your ground beef. However, it is very important that you let the meat really brown. That's what's going to help give it that cheesesteak flavor. If you're familiar with eating a cheesesteak sandwich, the meat has a good char to it, so you want to allow that to happen in your pan. I didn't have my cast iron skillet available, but that would be a great option to use here, or any nonstick pan that would allow you to sear the meat properly. Once your meat is browned completely, you're going to remove it from the pan and then add in a couple tablespoons of butter. And then to that, you're going to add in onion and green pepper and let those saute down. So the original recipe, again, it will be linked down below, does call for mushrooms, which I love, so I would have added, but my husband is not a fan, so I omitted that part. But if you like mushrooms, I definitely recommend putting them in the recipe because I think it would add even more flavor to it. While the onions and green peppers are sauteing, I am going to combine beef broth with a little bit of cornstarch and just mix that together. That's going to form the sauce of the sloppy joe. Once your veggies are cooked to your liking, you're going to add the ground beef back into the pan and then pour in the beef broth and cornstarch mixture. And then the last couple of ingredients are going to be a little bit of ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, and salt and pepper. Once you have everything combined, you want to have your pan over about medium heat. And you're going to let this cook down for about 3 minutes until the sauce starts to thicken up a little bit. So I'm curious if any of you have any sloppy joe variation recipes that you like to cook. This is the first time that I've tried a non-traditional sloppy joe with these recipes, and like I said, I love both of them. They're so good. So please let me know in the comments down below if you've tried a variation, and if not, which recipe in this video you're most excited to try. Now that the sauce has thickened, the final step is to add in slices of provolone cheese. So the recipe calls for a whole 8-ounce package of provolone cheese and has a suggestion that you could use less if you want to. I did the entire package and it looks like a lot of cheese, but trust the process. It is so good once it melts into the meat mixture. Speaking of trusting the process, you do need to be a little bit patient here while the cheese is melting. It will melt down completely. It just takes a couple of minutes. So you're gonna see I start to stir it around to get the warm meat on top of the cheese and kind of cut it up a little bit with my spatula as it's melting, just to help it go along a little bit more quickly. All right, can we all just take a moment of silence here for this cheese pool? Like, how amazing does this look? You guys have to try this recipe. It is such a good one. Please let me know down in the comments below if you like these recipes. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to keep sharing food content with you.